The ceiling in this room has a crack wall to wall going all the way across the room. And the trusses on top go the opposite direction of the crack, which makes it easy to fix the proper way. The first thing we did is find the trusses by drilling some screws 16 inches apart from the wall. Once we found the first truss, the rest should be easy to find by measuring every 16 inch. Then you want to put screws at least 1 inch from the crack on both sides to secure it into the trusses, but without sinking them too much. If you feel you need more than 1 screw on each side of the crack because it's sagging, go ahead and do so. The more you secure it, the better. There's no access to this roof because there's a floor above us, or it wouldn't have been a bad idea to cut some pieces of plywood to fit between the trusses and add even more screws on each side of the cracks, but this will have to do since we have no access. If you missed the truss, make sure you remove those screws, and no big deal having to put as many screws as needed. Screw head holes are the easiest to plug with compound. If one of the trusses don't line up at 16-inch center from the last hole you made, just make another hole next to it and you will probably find the truss. And then remeasure the rest of them to make sure they're all 16-inch center. Just make a mark in case they're not on one mark, they're on the other. After cleaning the whole crack of any debris, use self-adhesive compound mash tape to cover the whole crack. Now, I know there's people that will not use tape and also use caulking instead, and that's all they will use instead of compound, but 90% chance it will eventually crack again. It's just a question of when. So the way I look at it, do it right the first time and you never have to worry about it again. Once the mash tape is on, I used a joint knife and laid a coat of compound. Make sure it penetrates into the crack and screen, of course. And as you can see, this ceiling has knockdown finish, so you don't want the compound too smooth, but you want to copy the knockdown texture as close as possible. But on the first pass, you want to concentrate in covering the screen on the crack and the screw holes. Since the compounding is very thin, it should dry within 2 to 3 hours. After the compound is dry, you can touch up the areas that are too smooth or give it more texture if needed. Again, you want it to resemble the rest of the ceiling as close as possible. It makes it a bit harder to see it right now because this ceiling was painted with a semi-gloss paint, so this patch really stands out right now, but once it's painted, it will not be noticeable except to me because I know it's there. We will be repainting the whole ceiling with flat white paint. That will make it even less noticeable. A white ceiling hides imperfections really well, and together with the fact that it's a knockdown texture and paint will be flat, it's a big advantage. It's hard to see it on this camera right now, but it's very close. After rolling some primer throughout the ceiling, you can touch it up again if some areas are too noticeable. So that's it, it's ready to paint when we're ready to do the rest of the ceilings in this apartment, and that'll be in another video. We will continue this series of remodeling this apartment. The next time we will be replacing this window and get rid of this AC window unit. If you have any questions about this video or comment, feel free to do so, and you'll have a great day.